know him from the Hobbit trilogy. Part 3 is coming out this December. So my first question is, were you a Tolkien fan before you took on the role?
I was a huge Tolkien fan. I read The Hobbit when I was 7, and I read Lord of the Rings when I was 10.
I grew up on those two.
Yeah.
Did you get the original character that you wanted to be casted for?
No, because I always thought that I was destined to be Aragorn. So when they cast Viggo Mortensen, I was really depressed, except that he is the guy.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anyone else doing the part, but as a young man growing up on a farm, riding around on horseback, I was Aragorn, and the sheep were the orcs.
Oh, that's awesome. What do you think of Calgary?
Calgary's great. I came here in 1998 actually. I bought a theatre show here and then stayed on for the Stampede, so I love it. It's changed a lot in that time.
What did you think of our Stampede?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, we have rodeos in New Zealand, we have a lot of people riding around on horseback. We don't have anything of that size and volume. It was a pretty amazing, it was pretty cool.
What is the most challenging part about being an actor?
Finding a job.
Is it?
You know, you made redundant every 6 weeks or so, kind of on average, and you still have to prove yourself for every job that you have. And it's not like once you're a plumber, you're a plumber. You know, you're either a good plumber or a bad plumber. You get work for a good plumber, you don't get work for a bad plumber, but you're always a plumber. As an actor, you're having to challenge people to see you as a different part all the time. So, you know, you can be a cowboy one minute and then you're playing a policeman, but you might also be playing someone who's a lot more intellectual in terms of being a professor, and you have to be able to jump between those things and prove to producers that you can do the part. That's the most difficult thing.
Excellent.
And I said, so what do you do? And he says, oh, I make the armor. I said, not the armor, but the chainmail. I make the chainmail. I said, oh, you make the chainmail. You know, I figured there was some chainmail company you did online, you know. I had like 300 New Zealand soldier size chainmail. Have that come at 4 on Tuesday. And this guy sat there and I said, wow, that must be made. He said, yeah. So we got to talking, he made it all by hand. And I said, well, how did you do that? And he opened this he pulled up a clipper thing, and then 2 pieces of chainmail, and he said, here, you can do it. And you kind of have to, and he did it, all of them by hand, and there was 300, this was the greatest day of this man's life. His 10,000 hours of his work were walking in front of him. You know, like, that was one of those, another day of lunch on Lord of the Rings.
He's got no fingerprints. He's got no fingerprints.
Yeah, he's gone, they're gone now. Yeah, his things were born in bone. Yeah. He'd be a brilliant criminal.
He is now the greatest criminal of all time. Until he gets caught and goes to fun prison.
Fun prison where everyone knows your name. Now obviously I've got such a, how you going over there, guys? Jason, you good? He's just gone into this kind of zen state.
We're enjoying ourselves over here. So.
How are you doing, Jason? Yeah? How's it feel?
I just show you something. Do you mind standing up? We'll just turn it around because you'll notice that this particular actor has a slightly larger head than the person we cast. Oh dear. It's a ventilation hole. Just turn this over. Do you like the fit around the ears? But this is the reality of every morning putting different people into makeups, and we just have to sort of stretch it to fit. So we'll carry on and see how we go.
Now obviously over such a long period of shooting, you guys must have had some really great days and some really not so great days. Does any day in particular really stand out as just a miserable day of really tough, grinding work?
The only day in any time I've been on film where I thought I was going to have to say I can't do anymore was outside the Mines of Moria, and it was freezing and you know, we had to do, you know, the pretend that Elijah had been taken by the monster and lifted up. So we had to do a lot of takes, and it was wet. And one thing about the Hobbit feet, although they did, you know, they were spongy and made you feel like a hobbit, but also they were spongy and took in cold water. So you were just standing in cold water. And they would do things to try and heat it up, you know, they had heat, but it didn't get through in time, you know. And my feet, I have never felt so uncomfortable. I remember.
Yeah, well, it was in a parking lot.
Yeah.
It was in a parking lot across from something, and traffic is going by over here, and they built a little basin and put up this kind of a thing, and then the water, and we had to go in the water, and it was a cold. Everybody, the crew all had big jackets and all these kind of things, and they would come after the take, and they would put a warm-up jacket on you, and you're like, that's fine, can you put a warm-up jacket? Well, you remember those boots?
Yeah, the boots,
Yeah,
but
they were disasters. Yeah, the moon boots are terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And you just get them all on.
But you did it, you stuck it, you went through.
Yeah, I made it, but I honestly thought if it's one more take, I'm going to have to say, I'm going home to Scotland and having a bubble bath. Oh, a nice glass of whiskey.
He has a bubble bath every night.
I like bubble baths. What can I say?
You can win a bubble bath, but no.
Yes.
So,
You can answer this quiz.
one moment that was really bad for me, that was really made me upset, and it was mostly, when I think back on it, I was embarrassed. I was really embarrassed. But it was when Frodo and Sam and Gollum are at right outside the gate, the Black Gate. We've come down that hill, and there's all the shale rock, and I guess even at a certain point we like hide with the cloaks from one of the soldiers who's come up. But anyhow, there was a bit where Gollum comes up and grabs us and pulls us back. He's like, "No, hobbits, get away!" So we have established here tonight that we were wearing wigs, which were not just saran wrap with hair pulled through it. They were anchored in with some sort of a pulley and lever system, a bolt, some kind of a nail, like a nail gun, whatever it was in there, so it wouldn't come off like this. Well, Andy, you know, people want to know how Gollum was done, and you know, we talk about the first rehearsals that we would do, and then we would do a take with Andy Serkis, and then Andy would step aside, and Elijah and I would do a sort of echo take, a take with, you know, a mind pass or whatever. And but Gollum was very real, because in this one take, he reaches over and grabs the cloak, but he just flat rips my wig off. And I was so upset, and he was like, "I didn't mean to do it," and I'm like,